Hello, Master Manifestors. Welcome back to MethodMuse, where we talk about science-based manifestation methods and concepts. Today, we're talking about scaling your success. Once you've manifested something that you want, how do you make that manifestation bigger, so to speak? How do you have more of it? How do you expand your awareness to intensify that experience and really feel satisfied with the results? Well, that's what we're going to talk about right now. Starting off, when you're thinking about any kind of scaling, kind of think of it like a business or like marketing. You want to scale systems. You don't want to increase the the energy output or the efforts that you're making. Usually when you first get a success, your intensity of holding the state is fresh and new and it feels easy and you're getting lots of mental brain rewards for it, lots of dopamine. But then as you steady off, as you get used to it, those rewards diminish and you start getting, you know, impatient, you start getting frustrated. You're like, this isn't feeling as good as I wanted it to. But the long-term feelings of satisfaction, the long-term success comes from how you integrate the systems of your new identity with your manifestation. So trying harder isn't what it's about. It's not about trying to put more energy into something that you already have. Thinking about it more is just going to make you more resistant, more attached, more worried about what you don't have in it and how it's frustrating. You can't force these outcomes to be. You become it and then it reveals itself. So essentially, you just end up increasing the friction when you're trying to do it that way. You're like, well, I'll do affirmations twice as hard. I'll do robotic affirmations. I'll do this. I'll do that. It is not about doing. It is about noticing and expanding your awareness to notice more of the same thing. And that's by increasing the attention on it, on that gratitude, on that appreciation. It's here. I have it. It's in my story. It's becoming more. And then you focus on making the process of it better. Like, how can you really incorporate your identity into expanding this vision that you have of your potential happiness? How can you make it feel more clear? How can it be repeatable where you can do it all the time, every day? How can you make it a habit? How can you adjust your associations about it so that it becomes more automated and you don't have to try? These things aren't effort. They are becoming, they are experiencing, they are expanding, they're noticing, they're allowing, they're receiving. And that's where the satisfaction comes in, is that acceptance that no matter what, you are always going to have some kind of contrast in your life. You're always going to have challenges. The challenges will change. As soon as the landscape changes, as soon as the field of the game changes, yeah, the rules change a little bit. Now you've shifted to a new identity, but now you need to deal with the, problems and solutions of that identity. You need to, notice what your nervous system is doing with these new experiences because you're not who you were. And, most of the time you can't go back. Now, if you're new in something and you've come to your manifestation, you're not happy with it, you're just like, no, this is not what I thought. And as human beings, we struggle very hard to anticipate or predict what will make us happy because we think happiness comes from, stuff we've seen on TV. People have riches, wealth, beauty, all this stuff, and yet they are unhappy, miserable, nervous wrecks a lot of the time. Not always, but very frequently, they still have problems. Just because you've eliminated one identity issue does not mean you're not going to have contrast, because the contrast creates context. There is no context for happiness without sadness. So you always need the emotional regulation, but that improves as you expand your awareness. Your emotional regulation will become more, your nervous system will become more sensitive, but your emotional regulation will become more stable and you'll be more prepared. You're like, oh yeah, I know this. Yeah, I felt this before. Yeah, I know what this is. I know this is just my identity doing this. It's just my brain doing this. This is just my nervous system telling me I need some sleep. You'll get to understand yourself better. Your belief systems will open up so that you can put more information in. You're not removing things, but the capacity increases before you have to go back into those old patterns and those old ways of thinking and feeling, because the intensity just becomes too much. And it's just like, nah, nah, I gotta fall back. And just remember, a lot of the time you do fall back, especially if it's a major manifestation in which you're going to shift your identity way far away from what you've been used to. Yeah, it's going to take a little time and you're going to have a lot of back and forth. But if you continue and you persist and you protect that focus, you focus all of your attention on feeling good and being relaxed, no matter what happens, and just noticing that, okay, if I feel sad or I feel angry, this is just part of the story. This is just part of my manifestation. And you'll notice the opportunities, the options increasing. And most of the time they'll come in small at first and it'll be like, oh, that doesn't seem like much. No, it is. That is exactly what you need to be focusing on. Let's say you want to manifest love, right? Love and romance, marriage, whatever it is that you want in a romantic sense. And all of a sudden, a lot of people are like noticing you and they're like, oh, hey, I never really noticed this about you before. You seem kind of sparkly all of a sudden. Yeah. See, and then if you get those sort of opportunities and you're like, I don't know about this, you're probably going to switch back into holding that body language and that state and that frequency of no, I'm not open to receive. And then, everything diminishes and you kind of go back to the old way. But if you can hold that state and just stay relaxed and realize that no matter what comes through, it's something to be noticed and attended to. You don't need to do anything about it, but give it your attention and notice, is this a thing that I want in my experience, or is this something that I prefer to have less of? It's almost kind of like curating your Instagram feed or TikTok or whatever social media feed that you use. It's sort of like curating your feed. I don't want to see this. I want to see more of this. And whatever you keep clicking on is what keeps showing up in your reality. It's almost like an AI algorithm up in here in this little matrix of ours. But I hope this has helped you to understand a little bit more about scaling your manifestation success. When you start to see those little wins, focus in on them hard. And if you start getting like that reverse feedback where you get what you don't want, just be like, oh, yeah, that's that old thing that I used to have that I don't want anymore. Yeah, we're not ordering that anymore. I'm not even going to click the video. I'm just going to skip it and go look at a video that I want to experience. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, and sign up for the MethodMuse newsletter in the description below.